Welcome to another exciting episode of the Gain Momentum podcast, focusing on timeless lessons from hospitality, food service, travel, and technology. I'm joined today by Rich Tuckwell-Skuda. He's the founder and CEO of the Anything Group, as well as Albie, a booking e-commerce platform. Rich, how are you?
Adam, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. And, your energy coming into this before we started recording is just amazing. So let's start here for people that don't know the Anything Group or Albie. Give us the elevator pitch on both of those ventures.
Okay, so the Anything Group is called the Anything Group because it does anything you need. If you are hotel hospitality, and when we say anything, you can come to me with a plot of land and say, I want to build a hotel. We have a construction arm, we have a branding arm, we have a digital marketing or full service digital marketing agency. We have a recording studio where we work with the likes of ESPN, doing huge, great sporting events, all the way down to filming ICE at the Wing once a year.
Yeah.
ICE being the International Convention for Mortgage Advisors, by the way. I've just realized that has a whole different meaning now when I say we record ICE. And then technology. So we do PMS, we do Channel Manager. We won a SiteMinder's Platinum Partners globally in a wholesaler SiteMinder. We do furniture. We do everything. We build, we do everything. And then Albie is a completely different but connected entity in the fact that Albie is the first AI e-commerce based booking platform for hotels that we are saying is an OTC, which is online travel collaboration platform, rather than obviously just a regular booking engine or OTA.
Okay, so that is a huge topic that we're going to get into. But first, give us a little background. How did you get here with TAG, the Anything Group, and now launching an OTC, an online travel collaboration?
So I've been here. I've been in the industry 20 plus years. I started my career actually as a mere slip of a boy, as you can tell with this accent, not in North America, in Europe, buying old buildings that needed new life. For a number of years, I used to say that, and across all of my businesses, that I just created new places from existing spaces. And it was my tagline for years. I built a small chain of kind of micro hotels, I suppose you'd call it, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, which wasn't politically correct or any form of exciting thing to do back then. It was just a guest house, bed and breakfast, we called them. So that took a technology job, came to San Francisco as one of the kind of founding team for a company that later became one of the largest conferencing providers globally. Came up with some really cool product for them to kind of make people's lives easier. Started working within the travel vertical again. With that, exited that when it sold, took that money and decided that I wanted to just do fun things with big cars and expensive cars. And I'm a big petrol head. So I formed an agency and decided that was going to be my life. I was going to be a digital marketing agency. And was super lucky in the fact that we launched a fairly significant title that's known all around the world as an LGBTQ plus platform. Had that platform for 12 years. We launched cars for 34 of the 36 global car manufacturers globally. Created a whole TV network. I got into IPTV and travel and diaspora advertising and all these other really cool things that I had no idea I ever had any interest in until somebody said you could earn money doing it. And that is fundamentally the thing that interests me the most, is when somebody says, you enjoy this and you can earn money doing it. So I exited that business and ended up at Avio, which helped re-platform their booking engine into the first AI-based booking engine in the industry. Really honed down and focused on the guest experience and emotive marketing engagement, because my big passion is emotive marketing engagement. And the psychology of purchase and things like that, and what makes us buy the way we buy and do what we do. And then exited Avio to SHR back in 2021 and decided that I was going to do this again. And so here I am, building more software, doing more fun stuff that I think the world needs. And one of my huge drivers, because marketing is my core and I love marketing and I love what we do within the hospitality travel industry. Tally is one of the highest converting marketing agencies in North America. We look after about 450 hotels globally with outstanding results. We build their gorgeous websites and we do all these fun things. I get to go to award shows and be insanely proud of the things my team achieve. Yeah. And then we were like, you know what? The world needs an Albie. That nobody's doing an Albie. We should do that. So we started formulating that about 18 months ago. We hired in a phenomenal team of developers, and at High Tech this year, Albie was born. It went out into 20x. We didn't win. Didn't have enough sad pictures of my family in the paper. And I'm joking, deserved winner. And the shade comes out through these things. And then launched our first live client about 6 weeks ago and have several thousand signed up going live in 2027, 6 to 27.
Wow. So before we dive into Albie and how you've scaled that very, very quickly and why, because of its core architecture, part of hospitality is that it's a family affair. You work with family in a lot of ways. So tell me, yeah, like what's that like at Tag working with family?
It's amazing. I mean, obviously, for anybody that's listened to podcasts that knows me and probably knows Dom as well, Dom and I were married for a number of years. Dom was with me at Avio. I then found Tag, and he obviously jumped ship a year later. He actually stayed with Avio for a year after I formed Tag and stayed within their North American operations, and then moved over to Tag. It's great. I mean, I think when you work with ex-husbands and partners, there is definitely a 50% of the audience will say, "Oh, I couldn't do that," and then the other 50% kind of sees it the way I see it, which is, I know these people intimately. I know their flaws. I can see when they're having a bad day just from the minute they come on camera. I'm like, "Oh, okay, he's having a bad day. Now is not the day to talk about these things," which means that the business runs smoother. The team are very aligned with the fact that I don't keep my relationships with my partner who also works for Tag, and Don, and actually an ex-partner who also works for Tag. All of those I know. But it's super easy because everybody says, "What's the last 20 years of dating history?" And I just say the C-suite. It's super, not a C-suite because 3 of the C-suite I'm dating. But it's that whole thing where I think so long as you're open and honest about these things, it's very difficult to hide in our industry when you are when somebody you're related to or somebody you're married to or an ex is inside your business. It's super difficult to hide that anyway, because we're a cottage industry. Everybody knows everybody. And I have spent my entire career preaching about transparency and about the fact that we should just live our best lives in front. And if you don't like that life, you don't have to engage with me. Like, if you don't like what I stand for and who I am, then don't hire us. Don't be around me, because for every one person that doesn't like you, one person does. If you've got a 50% hit rate, amazing. And if 70% of people can stomach you, perfect. Like, that's amazing. If you're expecting 100% success like rate in this world, never mind this industry, you are back way too high on the average. So yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's great. And actually, again, you can it just means that when you travel, you're traveling with friends. You're traveling with friends, people that know you. You know who's going to be up at 7 o'clock in the morning and who is going to be still out at the Cloud Beds party at 3 a.m. And the person on your phone again, "Remember, we have to be on a toast straight." "Ah, not your dad. I'm not your mum. Do what you want." So, it's fun. It's great. I love it. I actually wouldn't change it.
Yeah, it's the ups and the downs of working with family and friends, but ultimately you develop that shorthand that makes things just operate so smooth, right?
And again, I mean, everybody that is in my life, unfortunately, is subjected to what I do for a living constantly, day in and day out. And I am of the belief that if I have a team of experts around me, because they have had to listen to me bang on about this stuff day in and day out, then why would I not have them inside my business? They understand the roadmap. They understand the vision. They see the passion. They know I'm a workaholic. They know, they can get hold of me at 11 o'clock at night because I'm still working. And by proxy, as you know from being around me, my enthusiasm for product is very, very kind of contagious. And so everybody that's around inside the business and around my personal life is so excited about everything they do. They're as excited as I am, like, because they're meant to be, because I need a bunch of cheerleaders around me constantly going, oh my God, you're doing the right thing. Awesome. Take your head out the oven if this is the right thing.
Wow. So let's take that passion and let's shift it to, or redirect it towards Albie, because um, before we came on, we described it as the anything cart. And
which I love, and I'm going to steal.
Yeah, well, it's all yours. You pay me a commission, at some point, or take me out to a nice dinner somewhere. So the anything card, I guess, is a way to describe it, because it's revolutionary in that you can basically take any object and book it at any time, independent of it being, specifically hotel nights booking, and then try to force people into these flows. Can you talk about how Albie works and how it's different from traditional booking engines?
So my biggest pain point in the industry, both as a hotelier and again, in between that whole little journey thing, I also ran a fairly sizable hotel company that was branded hotels, many Marriotts, Hiltons, and IHGs. And I ran that very successfully during the COVID year. My biggest issue is that we insist that guests are forced to book in the way that we as a software house or as a hotel have got to mandate that booking. Oh no, I need you to do it in this order, because if you don't do it like this, Amazon, Netflix, all of these things have completely changed the way that consumers view online purchase. And it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's travel, whether it's a hotel, whether it's an iPad, or other things are available, obviously, ThinkPads, whatever we're calling them. It's changed the way that consumers view things. They do not want to be forced to buy something that is configured in a journey that they don't want it to be bought in that order. They are now used to being told what their friends bought. They are used to being able to book anything in any order. And if something is on offer with something else they've already done, the car automatically tells them and says, no, don't do that. Do that. Do it this way. Click this button and we'll save you money. Everybody is used to that now. And one of the biggest things that we know, again, I've been involved in 3 booking engines in this industry in the last 20 years. The biggest thing we know is things like golf, spa, the big ancillaries, the big stuff that we know. They will sleep in closets. They will sleep in linen cupboards if they need to in order to get the tea time or the massage with the therapist they want. Why am I, as a hotel, going to force somebody to book the room, then go to the ancillary, which is the reason they come into my property, to then book it, only to find out that the day I've just booked the hotel for, that masseuse is not available. So now I go back and back around again, I change my dates, and eventually, after 15 minutes or not, because I got bored trying to do it, and I just gave up, I then get the perfect slot. And then that's it. That's the end of the journey. Thanks very much. That's great. Off you pop. Okay, but I had 7 other things I needed to do. I'm traveling there in a rental car, so I need to book a rental car. And then I'm going from there to Miami, and I need another hotel in Miami. But I don't have a hotel in Miami, so I can't do anything for you. It's ridiculous. We have forced this journey for the last 15 years since a duopoly came into our industry and said, you all need to hate each other. You're all competition. Everybody is going to take the food off your table. So everybody competes with everybody. Oh, but we are going to sit on top of that, and we're going to bid against you. We're going to constantly drive all your traffic to our stuff, and then we're going to sell you back the stuff that you could have sold if you just adopted our journey methodology back to you for 22%. And you're going to say thank you. And then you're going to give me your last rooms, and you're going to let me control everything. And then I'm going to do all the payment processing, and I'm going to save all the money, and I'm going to keep charging you, and you're never going to change that. So I kind of thought there has got to be a way where we can put this industry back together. Like, as a business, we're a whole industry full of hospitality. The very nature of hospitality is working together to ensure that the guest has the best experience from get-go. So 20 years ago, before this world existed, if I walked into a hotel and that hotel was fully booked, that GM would have walked me out to next door and said to the hotel next door, "Hey, this guy's looking for a room for tonight. I've got nothing. What, have you got anything?" That GM would have bought the other GM a drink. Thanks very much. I've got a booking, and that guest is super happy because they have still got somewhere to sleep for the night. What we now do is we have this journey where one hotel says, "I can't work with anything around me because everybody's out to get me." And what Albie was designed to do was say, the world is not there to get you. The world is there to collaborate with you. So the guest has an amazing journey. The guest can book anything in any order they want. So if I come to a golf property on Albie, for instance, my first question is not what room do I want? It's what do you want to do today? I want to book golf. Okay, because that's your driver. Bang, straight away. So my journey is 100% guest facing now. That is the booker's decision to book that for a golf course first. Okay, here's my tea time. Perfect. Okay, hey, guess what, Mr. Golfer? This is a mandated stay course, which you know because you came to my hotel website and knew that I'm a hotel golf course. What room do you want for the nights that you're in my golf course? Do you want 1 or 2 nights? I want 2 nights. Cool. Okay, this is the availability for both those nights. What do you want to stay in? It's a queen room or it's the closet. I'll take a queen room because I don't care because I've got my golf tea time. Perfect. Are you going anywhere else? Oh, well, yeah, I'm going to New York. Okay, cool. Well, as a group of hotels, I have 3 hotels in New York. So here's my 3 hotels in New York. Book it at the same time. I don't have to check out. No, it's fine. Just book it now. Okay, cool. So I put that one in. And then the same question again. And if that hotel in New York is part of my group, perfect. If I don't have any hotels in New York, anything else that's on Albie that's a hotel in New York that this hotel has said it is happy to work with can now be offered up. And Hotel B says, you know what? I can't buy you a drink, but what I can do is give you 5% commission for that. And if that was coming through an OTA, you'd be paying 15 to 28%, which is obviously, as we know, not the actual real rate anyway, because by the time I put in all my other costs, my effective rate for an OTA booking is anywhere from 25 to 33%. But I'm now paying a fellow hotel 5% commission as a thank you for giving me a reservation that is now come through as a mandated. I now know everything else you're doing. I know that you came from Hotel A. I know you were in Hotel A for 3 nights. I know you're coming to me for 3 nights. Oh, I'm guessing you're doing a road trip or it's a work travel day. Cool. Where else are you going? I'm going to Miami. Perfect. Here's the 4 hotels that the hotel in New York works with in Miami. Or if Hotel A has hotels there, these are the hotels from Hotel A. Let's just take this back and close the loop. And so now as a group, it doesn't matter if I have 1 property or 50 properties, the guest, which is the number 1 priority, is able to see all of my resorts or none of my resorts along with everything else on Albie. So if I go to New York, for instance, and I have a hotel in New York, but I have no ancillaries in New York, if there are 3 spas, 2 golf courses, and a Times Square tour on Albie through one of our other partners, I can now sell that. Oh, you were looking for a New York Times tour? Perfect, great, thanks. Take that. It's not about the $4 commission I'm going to earn from the tour company for the Times Square tour. It's about the fact that that guest now sees me as the seat of knowledge. I am a New York hotel recommending New York-based product that I have approved to be inside my journey and somebody that I would work with. I'm only going to, as a New York hotel, I'm only going to choose the partners that I see inside Albie that I know, that I trust, that I know is going to create my feel with that guest. And everybody's winning. Everybody knows where the guest is. The guest knows their journey. The guest can come to one cart and say, I have these 5 things I'm doing in New York, these 2 things I'm doing in Miami, this hotel in Miami, that hotel in Miami, and actually from the middle of next year, this flight, this, everything I can book in one place. And now every single hotel that's on Albie, every single spa on Albie becomes a whole ecosystem of travel, a whole ecosystem of tourism that anything can be booked in any order on and in multiples. So again, if we look at the current market, the number one thing that frustrates me, and I'm sure it does for you because you travel almost, or probably more than I do actually, drives me nuts when I am traveling with the team and I cannot book different check-in and check-out dates for different rooms inside one reservation. Why, dear God, do I have to have 5 reservations for 5 different people because they fly in and out at different times and are not going to be in the same hotel at the same time? One waste of my life. Just let me keep adding things to a cart, please. I want room number 1. This is my check-in dates. This is my check-out dates in the cart. Room number 2, I don't like them that much, so they're not getting the queen room. They're getting a standard room. They're coming in on the Thursday, leaving on the Sunday in the cart. Who wants breakfast? Well, actually, there's 2 people in that room, but only one of them wants breakfast. Okay, so instead of mandating that everybody in the room gets charged for breakfast, I just have one breakfast. I just have one breakfast, please, for 3 days of my 5 days trip in the cart. Done. Nice and simple. Consumer gets the best possible price because they're not being charged for things that they don't want. Hotel actually earns more revenue because, again, they're being charged for stuff they wanted on the days and quantity they wanted instead of not taking it because they were going to be forced to pay $300 for breakfast for 2 people and then one person was eating breakfast for 3 days. Like, the logic baffles me as to how we have stayed like this for so long as an industry. And then all you hear is, yeah, but it's all about revenue management. No, it's not. It's about inventory management. It's about understanding that guests don't want to be put into the pigeonhole that your existing software makes them buy things in. They want freedom. They want choice. They want to be able to move between groups. Yeah, I would love to be a chain of 15 hotels that were everywhere my guests wanted to be. But I also understand that if I want to compete with OTAs and the 189,000 hotels they have on their platform, I need more choice. And I am not going to get more choice as 15 hotels. But with 65,000 properties on Albie, I am part of 65,000 hotels. I am part of the biggest chain of hotels ever in the formation of hotels. Globally, I have a hotel in every town a guest is ever going to want to stay in. 7,500 ancillaries. I have an ancillary you want, whether it's kayaking or mountain climbing or reading a book by a beach. Somebody somewhere does it, and they're probably going to put it on Albie, and then bang. So that's it. And Albie actually stands for Advanced Learning Booking Intelligence Engine, or Intelligent
Yeah,
Engine.
it's like a Tony Stark naming there, right?
all of our things do that.
Well, I mean, just to go back to something you mentioned earlier, the duopoly that should not be named, and the whole thing there is they really came in and they pitted all hotels against one another, and their argument was, oh, okay, we give you distribution, and then people are coming to our platform because we offer that end-to-end booking between planes, automobiles, and accommodations. But therein, they kept the data themselves and they charged a very hefty commission. And
Yeah.
now, essentially, you're leapfrogging them by offering that same amount of convenience in terms of having an anything cart where different rooms can be booked at different times with different ancillaries, all independent architecture, but bridged in a way that is fluid. And then from there, it's why do you need that convenience at a third party when that convenience is even better, even more frictionless through the direct channel, which is almost like an online collaborative concierge tool.
Yeah. Well, and more importantly, as per your point, I as hotel retain guest data. So I am being given my user's name, email address, phone number. I don't need the credit card details anymore. This is the other thing that drives me nuts in the industry is this obsession with credit card information. We've got to have the credit card information for PMS. Why? Because 2 people, 2 companies told you it was life and death if you didn't. You don't need it. The last thing you want is credit card information inside your system. It's huge. It's a nightmare to manage. The PCI compliance, GDPR compliance, all this other, I was about to say a bad word, stuff that you need
Yeah.
to do. And I'm not saying anything about anybody because I firmly believe in people that champion our front desks. But you get one bad apple who has access to a credit card information and you see the damage that does to your brand. You see the damage that does to your guest's life. anything I can do to keep hotel away from having to take all of that nonsense on board, done. So when we built Albie, we twinned it up with an entire e-commerce platform, does all the banking, does everything, takes the money for you. If it's an advanced purchase, great. We take the money at point of booking. If it's a pay on property, no problem at all. I'll take the money for you at midnight when they're due to check in. So it's already in your bank account before they arrive. Good luck getting any one of those two companies or half the payment processors in our industry to give you your money the same day that the guest checks in. Most of the time you're waiting for a week, 2 weeks, 30 days, whatever it is. I'm sorry, why is my cash flow being dictated by a third party that doesn't own any property and has nothing to do with my business? I don't think so. I would like that money, please. Thank you very much, because they're sleeping in my sheets. And I have to play the person that's going to change those sheets. And I can't do that if you've got my money for 15 days after that guest has checked out. So we built this whole thing to just make this as frictionless as possible and make everybody be able to, if I want to recommend a hotel over there and get paid 5% commission, I don't want a contract with that hotel. I don't want to send an invoice. You're right. The system will do it at the point of booking. If I'm a management company, oh my God, why am I charging franchise fees on an invoice a month after that guest has stayed? I'm a brand. I gave you the booking. They booked with you because my name is on the front of your hotel. Why am I waiting 30 days to send you an invoice for my payment? Go back to source. No more invoicing. No more did they guest stay? Is that the right franchise fee? No. We checked them in. They came on property. You need to pay. And for all those, but they didn't check in. Can you credit me that? They didn't check in. So guess what? We didn't charge. So we didn't charge you because they didn't check in. So we just defogged, would be what I'd say. We just defogged all these pain points and trauma points for independents and brands and soft brands and managing companies and guests, and just said, you know what? This is what it should be like. I should just be able to book what I want when I want. And whoever's involved in that process should get their fair due at the point that the guest has paid the money. And then more importantly, let's protect the guest. And let's say to the guest, don't worry about it. If this all goes tits up, there's an insurance policy here. There's this thing, but this massive bank backing you. Everything is safe. Your guest data is still behind this wall, but all these hotels know who you are and they can contact you when they want because you've bought something from them. And then if you need to cancel anything, don't worry about going to 15 different websites. Go back to Albie, go back to one of the hotels you booked that journey in, and in there, put in that reservation number that was emailed to you, and there's your itinerary for that trip. Whether you booked 25 hotels and 50 ancillaries or one hotel. That's what you booked. Here's the reservation numbers for everything. This is what you paid for everything. This you've already paid. This you're paying when you check in. This is being taken 24 hours before. What did you need? This whole thing you've done cost $15,000, but don't worry, it's all on your credit card. It all came off at one point in the cart, but to multiple different things. Done. Simple.
So you stole the words right out of my mouth in terms of discussing the e-commerce platform that you've built that underneath Albie empowers this whole system of flexible. Anything can be booked at any time. Hopefully, it's clear the value that is given in terms of just having better cash flow and needing to spend less resources following up on AP, AR, and all the various accounting processes. That's huge, as well as also hopefully being able to negotiate better rates as well that you get off of processing, however it's blended or interchange plus plus. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the point. I mean, we are going to the processors that we have aligned with, and we are getting wholesale rates of processing direct from Visa, direct from MasterCard through our, we are getting the best rate we possibly can. And I'm not marking it up by 5% to make a profit. I'm not mandating anybody use my software because payment processing is the only way I'm making any money. I know what my software's worth. I know what my platform is worth. You're going to pay for that because that costs. It's a tenth of the price that you're paying now anyway, and replaces 15 different pieces of software, so it's significantly cheaper. But more importantly, I'm now saving you 5%, 3%, 2% on your payment processing. It's a win-win. I mean, and if you don't want me making a percent, oh well, go somewhere else. Go to the other e-commerce platform that does all this stuff for you and saves you hundreds of thousands of dollars and your team tens of hours of reconciliation time and management and stress and trauma.
Yeah, the total cost involved in just managing payments, but I'm just looking at it straight as saving basis points off of a top line in terms of payment. And that alone can give a hotel enough bandwidth to put back into buying a whole other person just to work with Albie and set up those relationships to add more things to the cart possibility and thereby unlock totally new forms of revenue to then fuel further guest experience expansions. It's immense when you think about it that way.
And if you think logically, we know that 40% of all travel is multi-destination. It's not point A, point B. It's point A, point B, point C, at least. Sometimes 4 or 5 different journeys. Well, if I am any of the hotels in that journey, and let's say your average hotel is $2,000, if you're going on a 3 or 4 day business trip, you're in the middle of nowhere, the hotel is $800, you've got all this other stuff you need to add to it. You know, if I'm earning 5% of that's another room night in my own hotel. I only need to do that 5 times a day, and my hotel just got 5 rooms bigger 365 days a year. Because every single guest gets the same experience in every single engine. So, yeah, and we're working with some fairly major software partners. So the plan for this, or the what has been already kind of put into place here, there'll be at least 67,000 hotels on Albie in the next year and a half.
Wow.
There'll be at least 10,000 ancillaries, plus flights, plus car, plus cruises. So I have all different providers working together.
Therein the question is, you've only been developing this for 18 months. How do you manage that rapid scale of onboarding new accounts?
We have been a recruiting team from day one. I think at the moment we have 5 developer positions outstanding. We have 5 onboarding. We have a full implementations team. We're already quite a big company. We're like 60 plus people. And most of those people are tech and onboarding project management for new clients and then account management. The big thing for me was that we built in platforms that were easy to develop. And again, Albie is an independent hotels booking engine. When I set up one hotel, when I just take Albie saying, I don't want any of that other stuff. I just want it to be my booking engine on my website because it's cool and I like the journey and I've got a spa. When I set that up, Albie has an AI algorithm in it that basically proofs any content I put in it. It makes it SEO friendly. It uses the most optimized search terms. It allows me to scrape my existing booking engine from my website and pre-fill everything. If I'm a group of hotels and every hotel has 5 rates, but they're all the same 5 rates, I set up those 5 rates once and then disperse across platform. Same with room types, same with images, same with everything. So if I'm 50 hotels and they're all the same, let's say I'm a mid-sized brand, I have the ability to set up one booking engine and replicate that 50 times. So now I can onboard, and all I need is somebody inside that hotel to sit down, which takes a couple of days, obviously, and go through 50 engines and make sure that, yep, that's right. Quality controlled by the client. That's good. Okay, press go. Done. Same with our integrations. So direct integration with Opera will be launching in January. Info will be mid-January. SiteMinder is already live. Muse is already live. Stay in Touch will be mid-February, I believe. I think there are several others. But once they're done, the integration is identical. So it's the same process. PMS is Opera for all 50 hotels. Drag and drop, in you pop, and it's done. So we're able to implement at a much higher quality rate and time frame than I think anybody else in the industry.
Wow. That's music to my ears about having that direct mapping built into PMSs and making all that work. Um, okay, so we've talked about the e-commerce platform. We've talked about the flexibility of having an anything cart. Um, One other feature that I really like is the whole idea of dynamic room upgrades or availability substitution. Could you talk to us about what that is and how that can unlock value for hotels?
So we just call it dynamic optimization on everything. So the whole process being, if I come in to a hotel's website and I'm on a budget and all of the budget rooms are booked, but 20 of those rooms are with an OTA, we know the OTA cancellation rate is high. Let's say, for in this instance, 30%, which I think would be me being very generous because it's more than that. But let's say I have 10 rooms booked out to an OTA, three of them are going to cancel. But I have somebody looking for that room now direct, and I have no inventory for them. So the system says three of them are going to cancel anyway. So we're going to upgrade one person into the next room up. And if that next room up is also full, we're going to upgrade one person from that into the next tier. So it's a cascade effect. I'm going to keep cascading people in upgrades until that availability is left. None of these guests are going to know about it because there's no requirement yet because I'm not overbooked. As soon as that OTA cancellation drops out, everything returns back to how it was. So by dynamically rippling my occupancy to make sure that every room is full at every auction. And again, if I'm a hotel and I enlist on an OTA, why do I want an OTA selling my most expensive room when I can put a guest I already have in the next room down where there's probably and let's say in the worst case scenario, a $300 difference? If that OTA is selling $1,000 a night room, it's costing me $300 for that booking. Why would I not put the guy that's already paying me $700 into the $1,000 a night room for free and have exactly the same money, but give that guest an amazing experience where he checks in and gets told he's just got the premium room that he couldn't afford, or offer it to him? So the system has two different functions. It will cascade and cascade back as required to make sure that all OTA cancellations get filled by a direct book that has been put somewhere else. What it will then do is it then says, oh, actually, we've upgraded all these people. Another hotel is full. So we need to start monetizing those upgrades. Because although we're now running 100% occupancy, so the 70 we would normally, now I want to monetize that. So it's going to start emailing all the people and messaging through the system, all the people that are in those rooms to say, hey, did you know you could upgrade for $20 extra a night? You could be in this room. Do you want to just do that now? Because we can just do that now before it gets expensive. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And we will resolve as many of those as possible to generate more revenue. If it's a decline and nobody wants to do it, okay, so then front of house can make the decision. When those people walk through the door, you know who stayed at your property before. They're the one that gets the upgrade. And again, you don't have to give it to them, just offer it to them. And when they turn it down, just say, you know what, you stayed before. Like we all have, because we've all worked front of house.
Yeah.
I don't care, because fundamentally what I needed was I needed all of you people out the way so I could book the 5-night stay in my standard room that netted me $1,500 that I would not have had if I hadn't moved all of you people out the way into empty inventory that potentially was never going to get full. Or I would have paid an absolute fortune to an OTA for a booking in that room anyway. So I'm improving my cost flow. I'm improving my occupancy. Let's say the hotel is 100% full. Okay, fine. I have no availability. What do you want to do? Do you want to go on a wait list? Yeah, okay. So instead of all those other wait lists, or you just give me an email address, what do you want? Let's not waste your time offering something you don't want. What room did you want? Okay, cool. So build that stay out. When that stay is available, I'll send you a link and you can book it. When that stay becomes available due to an OTA cancellation, automatic email link out to the guest. Hey, that 2-night, 3-room stay, whatever it was you wanted, it's available. Click now to book it. One click and I've booked the room. All I need to do is put my credit card details in. Where I stay with Albie before my credit card details are already there. Whether Anywhere in the Albie network I've stayed, if I put my credit card details in and said save them, they're there. So I now, my simplified cart is done. And then again, if I don't want to go on a wait list, well, hey, there's these 15 other properties in our network that are within the area. Do you want to book one of those? Because if I'm not going to get the booking, if I don't have the availability for the booking, if I'm too expensive for the booking, the guest is gone. I have made nothing from that. It still cost me $3 for the PPC click to get that person to my website. So I want my dollars back. Go book with the guy next door, and he's going to give me $50 for your booking, which is still saving him $150 on what he would have paid one of the OTAs for it. So he's winning, and I'm winning because I just made $48 profit on my marketing spend. And everybody won. The guest won because they got somewhere to sleep for the night, and we all won because we didn't spend any money and we made some.
Wow. It's almost mind blowing about the cascade effect and just ensuring that you can maximize your availability because, what percent of people book the lowest room tier, the standard room, right? So that sells out fastest, right? And then you can surprise and delight a direct booker versus an OTA booker by giving that direct person saying, hey, you get a free room upgrade when actually it was the cascading mechanism that was determining that behind the scenes.
Well, actually, when your marketing material as a direct booker is, hey, book direct, and we guarantee if we've got a room available to upgrade you into, we will. You're going to get the best price. You're going to get upgrade offers quicker than anybody else. You're going to get all these other benefits, and you can do all these other things that you can't do with an OTA. I mean, you can't book an OTA for with two different entry points. So if I'm a group booker booking for business, and I've got to book 5 rooms for my execs that are going to New York. That's 5 different OTA bookings, 5 different reservation numbers, 5 different emails. Wonderful. I'll just put that in one cart, thanks very much, and have 5 different reservation numbers in the same place. And then when I have to move things around or change things, I don't have to affect everything. I have to go through my emails trying to find which reservation it was for who, and when's Dan coming in, when's Adam coming in, when's Joe coming in. That's all that. Joe's coming in that day, Dan's coming in then, Adam's coming in then, it's Adam I want to change, click on that one, open the reservation, modify it, and done. Super simple. Like, and again, from a refund perspective, because the platform is a full e-commerce platform, if I've booked 3 advanced purchase rates, but they're refundable, if I am canceling that room or amending or modifying that room in line with the hotel's policy for a refund, Albie's going to refund them the money. We haven't really switched the hotel. We've had it in a holding account because they ain't checked in yet. But the minute they're on site, they get the money. But why would I not protect the guest at the same time? From a perspective of a hotel, and God forbid, we know that hotels do go under, and we've just recently seen everything that's happened with Sonder and stuff here, which is super unfortunate. But those guests have been left dazed and confused and wounded. If they had a platform that was protecting them by holding that money and not giving it to them until they checked in, these people now wouldn't be chasing around wondering if they're ever going to get their money back, how they're going to do all this insurance and claims and blah, blah, blah. Very simple.
Time, right?
Time for
Yeah.
everybody, not just the guests,
Yeah.
time for everybody.
Well, I mean, you talk about how 40% of travel is multi-destination, 2 or more. And, for me personally, when I'm traveling around, when I'm designing a client roadshow, I have this massive spreadsheet. I'm researching, I'm going up into 20 different booking engines, and then I'm computing it all into this one master guide that just has everything. When if I were to measure my total time on that, it would be like 10 hours to complete a
Easy.
a 10-day trip, right?
Easy. I don't got ITB and Fatur coming up. I've got to book 5 people to go to Madrid. I then need to fly people back to London. Some people got to go back to Colombia. Some are going to Argentina. Then a load more people are going to Berlin. That's kind of, and again, it's me. I mean, because of who I am, I'm going to take control of that because I want to make sure my team is safe when they're traveling and they've all got what they've got. That's going to be 2-3 days of my life out trying to find hotels, trying to. I can just go to Albie and do that in one quick thing. Madrid. Okay, where are you going next? London, Berlin. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Thanks very much.
Yeah. And all attached to one company card, so therefore it's one thing to ship off to your accountant for your year-end tax filing.
Yeah. And more importantly, because you can print off the itinerary from Albie as well, you can show reservation numbers in a simple screenshot. Just screenshot that. These are the reservation numbers. This is how much everything was. Everything is a single point pull from the from the credit card anyway, because otherwise you'd never get anything through because everything would be $25,000 and American Express would have a breakdown. So everything is invoiced that way anyway. And it's a date of check-in if it's not an advanced purchase. So fundamentally, I can just send one screenshot, one itinerary, and say, bang, that matches up with my credit card statements. These are the reservation numbers. This is the amount I did. That was the holding deposit because it was listed separately. So we got to watch for that to be returned. But we know it's going to be returned because it's Albie that's returning it, not the hotel. Because that's the other thing. I recently checked into a hotel in Miami that I used to stay in a lot. Like when I was living between Miami and LA. And I checked in and the guy said, oh my God, we haven't seen you for ages. And I said, yeah, it's just life. It's kind of been super busy. And he said, I just been looking at your thing. Do you know we didn't release your deposit the last time you were here? And I'm like, oh. And he's like, so I'm not going to take a deposit this time. So he said, and his name's Albert. I was like, Albert, just do me a favor. Like, can you check back and see if you didn't return the other deposits? And he said, well, do you not check? And I said, no. $4,500 in deposits I had on book with this hotel. They had never, in 24 stays, returned a deposit. I have never, ever damaged a hotel room or not. And literally, he's like, I'm going to have to call the GM. And I'm like, you call the GM. I want my $4,500 back. Like, never mind keeping the deposit for this stay. You're going to need to refund me that money. And, bless them. I mean, they say it was oversight on their part. I don't think there was anything malicious in it. Will I ever stay in that hotel again? Absolutely not. And they released the $4,500 worth of deposits. But again, if I had a system like Albie, I now as a hotel no longer need to worry about that. The Albie send them wasn't that. Unless you click a button that says do not return the deposit, they've wrecked the place, which I do in the PMS anyway, because it's a two-way interface. So I say in the PMS, no, don't, or I say deduct $50. Albie's going to send them the remainder back, and it's done. It's in a completely separate platform. The guest sees it, they see it, everybody sees it. It's smooth. It's frictionless.
Wow. Now we're looking at 2026, and you're talking about things that are so fundamental in terms of payments and the friction and management of payments, which is a huge labor expense. Meanwhile, everyone is looking at AI search, and that's a huge thing as well. I saw you roll your eyes. I saw it. But we would be remiss if we didn't touch on it in terms of people are looking at it in terms of readability for sites, bookability for payment rails. Where do you stand on this, and what tools are you looking at to enhance the booking experience?
So we have already set the system up to be completely compliant and able to work with things like ChatGPT and Ask Chat and all these other AI engines and things. We are looking at partnerships with those various different providers to enable Albie to be the place that people come and they can book all these different things. Do I believe this is going to happen in the next 24 months? Absolutely not. If it happens in the next 24 months, Adam, you are more than welcome to play this back to me. Do I believe that the vast majority of bookers, I saw a stat the other day that said 70% of travel bookers are now booking through ChatGPT, and I literally laughed. Don't be ridiculous. 70% of travel.
Like 1%.
It's 1%. This is a $600 billion industry, and you're trying to tell me that 70% of $600 billion shifted to ChatGPT? Don't. You're crazy. Like, we're just making this stuff up as we go along because we were hoping that that's going to fuel adoption. It's 1%. Next year, it will be 3%. The year after that, it will be 10%. And in 5 years' time, we will be having a conversation about the fact that 30% of travel is booked through AI travel tools. And we are set up and ready for that. We've been ready and set up since we formulated it. We put AI inside the platform to make it easier for hotels to be able to adopt the platform and work the platform and run the platform. There are definitely, we have used AI tools in there to minimize workload required to roll the platform out and manage the platform. And it's set up so people can book on it when that is a thing. But I think we're a way away from it yet. I
Well,
certainly trust ChatGPT with my credit card details. That I can tell you for.
no, no. Yeah, the PCI, right? I mean, that's the whole thing, right?
And we've also forgotten this whole GDPR thing that is a fairly major thing. So we're going to let these AI companies that we don't know from Adam, that are no offense, Adam, that are 3 years old, max 3 years old, with all this unproven technology that we have no idea how it's going to self-populate, self-generate, self-learn, and we're going to punch all of our financial information into it with a big tick box that says, yeah, charge anything to what I tell you to. In what world do we think this is going to actually happen in the next 10 years before fundamentally the people that are coming through now that think this is even remotely a good idea, and fundamentally because they see it as a way of getting out doing any work, I think, just a personal opinion, it's nonsense. I'm not putting my credit card details into anything that I am not fundamentally overseeing that I see has a big PCI compliant badge on it that then stars it out and anonymizes my data.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned GDPR in terms of the 1 year wipe that has to happen, and these algorithms that are determining these AI search and AI booking, they are reliant on data that exists for longer than 1 year. So, everything in that modeling is fundamentally based on historical records. And, if you have to be GDPR compliant, then every single LLM that's built is not GDPR compliant.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, then there's the whole other raft of stuff we have to also play into account here, which none of this stuff takes into place, like ADA compliance and all these other various things that this system doesn't know whether I'm near side or shore side. It doesn't know if I need an ADA compliant room. It doesn't know if I need to know how many stairs or there's this whole raft of information that we've just forgotten in our excitement about the fact that something may save us 10 minutes.
Yeah, but it's exciting.
It's exciting. And it will get there. It's going to do amazing things. And in 10 years' time, you and I will be both organizing our travel and our diaries by just thinking it. Probably, God, I really hope so. We just think it and it happens. But I think we are a way off that yet. And I think we have numerous legislative things that need to happen for consumer safety purposes for that to be where they're dreaming it's going to be.
Well, a lot of consumer legislation only really comes when things break, right? I mean, but that's essentially how GDPR emerged. In its first one, it was a digital protection um, to protect people and their records after several data breaches.
Because two of our major hotel chains had huge data breaches that exposed millions of people's data to a bunch of criminals, and suddenly we had a problem.
Yeah.
And it's the same credit card breaches. It's never PCI compliance wasn't a thing until somebody somewhere in deepest darkest somewhere went, you know what I should do? I could hack into this bank and steal everybody's credit card details and go do my shopping on it.
But listen, all this, it's dynamic, it's changing, it's evolving, it's exciting. And to close out here, tell us, what is exciting to you in the coming years on a general technology level, as well as for Albie coming up, either new rollouts, new features, everything.
So for Albie, I mean, I would say we have got the next 3 years worth of amazing features already on the roadmap, already done. And they range from huge things like putting into place, multiple different like airline bookings and things. We are in talks with some fairly major event softwares, shall we say, that would enable me to start selling tickets to concerts and things like that. If I'm a hotel and somebody is trying to buy a concert ticket and now I can marry up and book my hotel at the same time in a seamless journey, or I'm a hotel in the location and I'm not aware that that concert has happened. And now suddenly everybody starts looking for hotels around that concert venue. And then in it, I'm now perpetuating booking and saving a fortune on marketing and knowledge that I need because the system is already doing it for me. So I think there's some exciting things coming from an integrations perspective for us. I think we have some exciting software partners that we'll announce in January when those integrations are fully completed and done. And I think for me, when I see the first island using Albie as the port of entry for a tourism board to say, hey, you want to come to our island? You can book everything you need in this one space here. Visit whatever it might be. And that is Albie powering that. I find that very exciting.
Wow. So I want to wrap this up by focusing on one specific thing. You talk about an island and booking everything. One specific use case that has always intrigued me is how cyclists book their travel. And I mention cyclists because they largely go by the OTAs nowadays because it's the only thing where they can quickly find what they need and where they're going to be based on how far they go, right? And so what you're saying is your platform they can rent the bike, they can then book a spa treatment and find out which places have spas, and they can do the multi-hotel packaging for a cyclist who's going, doing a trip down the Adriatic, right, or something, one of these once in a lifetime cyclist trips. So to close out here and to summarize, tell me how Albie would help a cyclist to really make their travel experience multi-destination, multi-ancillary. How would it make it exceptional?
So I go on to my first hotel, and actually in 2027 we will launch Albie.com, which will be an open faced portal for guests to come in and book. So I just put Milan and it says, hey, this is everything that's in Albie in Milan. And all those hotels are paying 5% instead of 25%. So they're happy, all those ancillaries. But anyway, so I go in on a map, I say, this is my route. Show me hotels every 30 miles. I'm going to do 30 miles a day on the bike. Show me hotel every 30 miles. Show me ancillaries as well. My search term comes back, hey, this location, these hotels, these ancillaries, this. Do you want to book that? Yeah, okay, fine. Next location, these hotels, these ancillaries. What do you need? That, this. Next one, I can plan an entire road trip in map view just by charting my course, or I can look at them. So I don't need to do it that way. I just book the first hotel, look at the map and say, right, there, I want to stop here. Show me everything there. I'm building out my itinerary in one place, all my reservations in one place. And I'm adding to my cart exactly the same way as I do when I go to Amazon, eBay, any of these Temu, Rakuten, whatever it is. I'm building out multi-vendor cart based on where I need it to be, not where the vendor tells me it is. Which is probably actually the biggest, most exciting thing about Albie is from a road trip perspective. And we know that our beloved North America and South America, Latin America are huge for road trips. Tourism, which involves me doing multi-destination. If we look at the Caribbean island hopping, my ability to say, hey, I want to go to St. Lucia, Barbados, and then Jamaica. Perfect. Okay, this is St. Lucia, this is Barbados, this is Jamaica. I made my learning. Done. 5
Wow.
minutes. Didn't have to sit on an OTA, didn't have to try and understand 30 different properties. I just said, show me 5-star properties with outstanding guest ratings because Albie has all those features and functions in it. Show me 5-star function, show me this, show me something with a spa, bang. Search return, these 5 hotels.
Wow. I think that's a great summary of the tools. And I hope that people who are listening are seeing that there are solutions to really ramp up direct bookings, but also, the ability to manage commissions all in one place to save money on accounting or time on accounting, as well as other tools like the dynamic room upgrades and just that cascading feature. There are amazing things happening. Rich, this has been a mind blowing hour to just to learn about the latest latest and greatest in Albie, and exciting times ahead. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's been absolute
pleasure. Fun as always.
Thanks for listening to the Gain Momentum podcast. To stay up to date, make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. For more information about Gain Advisors, head to gainadvisors.com.